Do. Well, yes, it's a thing, isn't it? It is entirely a thing. And excuse me while I just stick this on my Patreon. My good friends on there. Yeah. 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 Well, I am going to try and build a module. Whether or not I succeed is entirely another thing. But as ever, it's nice to sometimes put these things out, share the process with my good friends on the internet. Ahoy! Yeah. Let me just get my house in order here as I'm looking at the instructions for this module, which is this Timo Rozendal module, which is very, really simple, basically, as far as I'm aware. But sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah. This is the build guide, I think. Should be able to see that. Hi. Yeah. This is the build guide. Cut the boards with a plier. Install the IC. Install the power header. Place the female headers on the microcontroller. Okay. Remove the microcontroller and place it, connect it to the spacer. What? Place the female headers into the male headers and put them on the board without soldering. Attach the board with the second screw and solder the 4 headers on both sides. Okay. This scares me. What is this? Remove the small lid. And then put it all on and screw it down. Solder everything. Those are LEDs, aren't they? Yeah. It's actually quite simple because basically I think this is just like yeah, it's basically just like a dumb FM module. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. You've been thinking about getting one. Yeah. It seems very decent. I am going to profess some ignorance, which sounds ridiculous. Why do I have this if I don't really understand it? But that's because this was the FMP that was kindly given to me by Timo Rozendal at Superbooth like a year ago. And if you ever happen to see the video that I made about Superbooth, there was this sort of weird stream of consciousness diary. There was this bit where this man like literally was like, I was on the bus late at night. He's like, "Are you My Love Melodies?" I'm like, what? But he basically been doing a soldering workshop at the event. And so he was like, "I've got one more of these. Would you like it?" I'm like, yeah, I want an FM voice, obviously. But as you may see, it has drums, which is intriguing. Don't know if you're sort of into this, but like, yeah, FM drums sounds like a good time. But yeah, principally building the thing seems fairly straightforward. It seems like one simply does basic assembly. So I do that. I wonder if I can I detach the chat? Sorry, this is a bit of like housekeeping here. I can, but the chat doesn't stay on top. Is there a way to do that? Sorry, this is me going trying to work out how to do this in a way that is actually like feasible. Sorry, which is where I can see you, but I can also see this. You can see this. And life is good. But yeah, like basically the Timo stuff seems really good from a techno perspective. Basically this, and he also really kindly sent me the 3394, which I have as well, and which I have to build. And I totally like these. And this is also very much in the forefront of my mind because I am rebuilding my live system, and it's 6U104, and that is, I don't want to change that basically. I want to set to a sort of a rule basically. So these tiny little voices, very intriguing. So yeah, 3394. Is the 3394 the same thing that's in the DEP for A111-6? I wonder. That's a question. Yeah. Cool story, bro. Good question. No, but I did wonder, is it the same chip that's inside it? Fundamentally, is the 3394, the Timo one, the same module as the DEP for? Because if so, maybe I don't need both, but we'll see. So yeah, what have we got in our little packet? What did I get from the man on the bus? Busman kindly gave me, oh, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just moving my chat so I can see, so I can see you better. Thank you very much for the super chat. Yes. Right, what did we get? What did the man give me? The man gave me this like CPU thing. Panel we will not need for a little while. We can set it aside. Some destructions. It's quite late here. This is a really stupid... I sort of tend to do this where I'm like, let's build a module at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, which is just like phenomenally unhelpful. But in any case, it's just, you know, you've got to do it sometime. I also wanted to just test this, like setting up a streaming setup with a different computer to make it work. Let's think about this wire, shall we? What am I doing? I just want to I constantly live in fear of doing that thing of making it so that I'm just going to like flop the iron into my lap. A full lap flop has not happened yet. But, you know, you're just like, this isn't clever. This isn't smart at all. I actually have quite limited space here. This is my sort of like video table. If I do this, I'm gonna fold it over the wire. That feels like a poor thing to do. Poor choice. I just generally think soldering irons are a bit scary. I probably shouldn't think that, but I've also got a keyboard in the way. Did I just naff my keyboard? Please don't break. Yes, indeed. And hello to those joining. Yes. Yeah, but also regarding starting late, it's not a complicated build. Famous last words, but like it's not like it's just some dumb bits. I'm just more worried about my solder. This is like the super thin stuff. That's what I'm messing with, and I don't have any fat stuff, and I certainly don't do. This is unleaded. We're not an animal. Right. I'm really sorry about this. I just really don't want to burn everything down. I've got a strong anti-burning policy. So I'm going to put that on the floor. I'm going to put my tools over here. I'm going to put this iron here to the right, next to the cardboard items that will like catch fire. Seems sensible. Right, we're going to live now. It's all fine. Check us out. Look at this. It's got a new ThinkPad keyboard. ThinkPad crew. Yes. Yeah, it is late, but it's fine. Right, this was a little gift from Signal Sounds. These little 3D printed, screws for panels. For bolts, sockets. Right, I'm sorry that's actually taken quite boring. And this whole thing is completely boring. This is like the entertainment equivalent of watching paint dry. Thank you, Cold Light of Day. That is very kind of you to say. Many will disagree. But yeah, as regarding the huffing, I do have a fan gently wafting. I've not, I saw Tom Whitwell with his soldering iron, and I saw him using the kind of extractor thing, and that made me feel that he was very professional and he really knew what he was doing. And that I'm putting myself in harm's way. This is going well, isn't it? I'm putting myself in harm's way on every time I do something. But I don't have leaded solder, and I'm pretty sure Tom does, because Tom's just that kind of dude who's got he's got vintage solder to inhale. I'm not sure it makes a difference. If it does, I've never, I've not had a build go wrong, so I'm just I don't buy it, really. At least I don't have a convincing reason why you shouldn't use unleaded versus leaded. I'm sure I have a solder that's already open. But this will do. I like these little things. This makes me feel professional. Why is leaded solder better? Hello, Southpaw Shorts. Why is it better? We need facts. Right. This shows a step-by-step guide, assuming the summed part is already done. The summed part is already done. This is not the through-hole version. Carefully cut the boards with a plier. I'm a grown-up. I can do that. Oh, the smoke is from the flux, is it? Not the lead, not that sweet lead. About 40 minutes in at this point, we've actually done something. There we go. Wow, call it a night, I think. That's me good. Oh, wow. Cold Light of Day, thank you. You got me into modular a few years ago, and I went from knowing nothing to having assembled about 18 U of modules, all NLC. Oh, wow. You have an extremely, deep, weird modular full of, non-linear circuit stuff. I'm into that. That's cool. Excuse me. Carefully cut the boards with a plier. We know this. I know this. Excuse me while I use my little nipple. My little red nipple. Install the header on the bottom. Where's the bottom? Folks, it's not going well. Fallen at the first hurdle. That's the bottom, isn't it? Let's compare. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's the same thing. Okay. I'm a big boy. I can do this. Melting point is lower, easier spread, reflowing better, and it makes a better connection, but also toxic. Oh, God. It's better in every way, but it kills you. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Now, here's a cool thing. This was also from Signal Sounds. Plug for them. You can get this kit. You can get this kit on the signalsounds.com. this isn't a sponsored segment, but they did give me these, so I suppose that's technically an endorsement, isn't it? But yeah, you can buy this like kit of stuff, the little like the screws for your panels. But also these just really useful little dishes, and they stack. Look at that. This is like QVC. Oh, fucking hell. It's like the QVC. Actually, I like the high contrast of this better. Let's go yellow, mate. Look at that. How handy. That's gone well, hasn't it? When I go flying out. Where is it? There it is. Thank you. I always feel like there's a technique here. Did I plug this in? No, I didn't plug it bloody in. It's going to flop. It's in. It's in. We're on. It's happening. 2 solid hours in. Peter, you ain't seen nothing. This is the driest of paint watching exercises that is available. A man slowly and with questionable competence doing something that should probably take about 40 minutes in the space of about 4.5 hours. Like time stretching normal life. So I won't be offended if you fall asleep. But then it is late. Consider this a public service. For those of you in the United Kingdom, getting your beauty sleep will be no problem at all with this shit. Oh, mate, that was where my other solder was. I've got a little dishy of parts over there. This is the same. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, I don't need to waste this. Let's pop it. All right. Yeah, the NLC stuff it's amazing. Like the guy seems like a proper space cadet. I think Tom Whitwell said that he does like a module a month or something. I may have misrepresented that or misremembered, but he does stuff temporarily. He does stuff. What's the word? Excuse me, 1 second. The guy from NLC, basically, Blue Tack. Do they have Blue Tack in America? If so, what's it called? I'm going to put on my Dana Barrett glasses. I do need 3 solder reels. Ugh. Oh, I can't really see that. That's not helpful. I think I need fatter solder is actually it's more of the thing. How are we doing? How's our temp? On the old yep, get it nice and close to the hot boxes. Alex, well done. I'll move that aside, shall I? Is it called Blue Tack in America? I just feel like it's the kind of thing where it's got like some sort of whimsical other name, like, I don't know. What would Americans call Blue Tack? Obviously, call it Blue Tack. That's fine. You'd call it like, it's like something. Come on, everyone. Something funny. How are you doing, my friend? My old cold friend, even though getting nice and hot. Yeah, look at that. Look at the fumes buggering off that way as well, which is great news. Silly putty, yeah. What happened to silly putty? Okay, fine. Sorry, it was just before I actually soldered something. It was like, am I getting in trouble here? This is not high enough. Or I'm out of practice. Also, I can't really see it because it's miles away. 1 second. Red, white, and blue tack is quite funny. Yes. Freedom tack. Freedom bond. Something like it's definitely freedom tack. 2x. I'm like genuinely struggling with this. Oh, there's more of those little bolts. Excellent. What's this magnification? Nope. Yep, kind of. Sorry. I mean, if you were looking for a rip-roaring entertainment experience, you're shit out of luck, my friends. This is paint dry territory. I'll just recalibrate my headset. I didn't paint it. I'm just restoring it. Like, sorry, it's actually really hard for me to see that. Try not to like. There we go. I can kind of see. Hooray. It's actually like I'm getting old. Like I'm 40, so I'm like, well, in my 40s, so I can't really actually seeing things up close is it's becoming a challenge. Hey. Fucking hell. Okay. One. I almost feel like I need to. I'm actually going to kneel down here. Hi, I'm Neil. That's better. I'll put this. There you go. That's where you can see it. I can't bloody see it. Mate, this is actually... Oh, my God. I think part of the problem is, I don't know if anyone else has ever recognized this, but like if you actually use, if you have like strong lighting next to like soldering stuff, it's actually really hard to see it. Like the little like points of light reflect off everything. It makes it really hard to like witness. That makes sense. I struggle with it anyway. Oh my Lord. This is tedious. What's that called, light of day? Am I doing this entirely wrong? Well, no surprises there. That's sort of the idea, isn't it? No, I think this stage is like solder that on. See? Make it look like that. You've now got me questioning reality, though. So, excuse me while I double check, because if I've ever learned anything from soldering stuff, now that definitely is the right way. But the life lesson that I've come to learn is that, Rotty, that is completely acceptable. This is not obligation reviewing. Have a good sleep. Go to bed. You'll feel better in the morning. The lesson I've learned is, you just be like, just question everything. do it multiple times. Like genuinely, it is good advice. And yeah, I will. I think if I get this module to work, which should hopefully be a guarantee, it will find its way into vids because it seems really cool. It's an FM module, and we like those around these parts. And it's small, so it'll fit in live systems that I'm coming up with, of which videos soon. I've already filmed stuff about them. Wait. And no, you are. Everyone who feels like questioning what I'm doing is more than welcome, because there's a strong chance that you're right and I am doing something wrong. And if not, we've double checked, and that's good. Man, I really can't see this very well. Shit. Is that just my vision? Is that just like... I'm trying to keep my head out of the frame is the thing, so I'm not like, my stupid head is not like obscuring the thing. So maybe this is just like first world YouTube problems where I'm like trying to do this in a way that you can see it. Okay. Wait, I don't know what that is. This little castle, but I don't want to hurt it. Looks important. Wait. This is like building. You know, when you, well, I don't know if anyone's ever built anything, i.e. like a building, but I can tell you when you start doing these types of jobs, little like repetitive tasks where you've got to like screw things in or, you know, cut something. Initially, it's always slow, but you just speed up when you get the feel for it. What I cannot guarantee is that this will become interesting at any point. That's likely not to happen. All right. Yeah, like the... Oh, yeah, little helping hands. I do have that. I've got those things. Look. Oh, one of these. I could use it. To be fair, yes. 6 inches of additional height is no bad thing right now. I think we're struggling a little bit. Uh-oh. It's Signal Sounds. Someone from Signal Sounds. Look. You gave me this. This is available at Signal Sounds. Everyone go to... And I don't mind if you put the link in the chat. That's fine. Fill your boots. Retail got a retail. But they are quite... These are good. They're useful little, like, doofers. I don't have to actually sell these, to be fair. But the plan is to sell them, I think. So that if people... They 3D print them in the store. It's like, yeah, is this good? Is this a thing? I think so. Right. Sorry, everyone. This is me just... Literally, I am going to... Where's my... I've got like one of these traditional helping hands. I'm not joking. I'm going to use the magnifying glass. Oh, my God. No, it's so scratched. That's actually worse. Let's just hold it up. Yeah, good. A little row of Hershey's Kisses. We don't have Hershey's Kisses in the United Kingdom because our chocolate is good. Sorry to diss on American chocolate, but it just sort of taste vaguely like sick or something. Super weird. Oh yeah, hold the roll. Don't hold the roll. I know, yeah. All right, come on. I'm doing this for you. Thank you. Am I 60? I'm actually not 60, but I feel it. Right. What is this? OmniFoxo. Sorry, I missed the Signal Sounds chat with like the recommendations of soldering gear. Yeah. What is that? I really want a pine saw as well. You know, it's like this soldering iron that seems very sexy. Where it's like USB and stuff like that. Look, I've got like a flask of tea. That's how old I am. In case you thought I was 60. What do you mean I haven't got that? What's that? You don't need to use snips with soldering. You just rip it with your teeth, yeah? I bet he does that with leaded. No wonder Tom's such a riot. Right. Sorry, this is absolutely effing glacial, but I didn't promise you rip-roaring excitement. I promised you paint drying. Okay. Attach the power header. Oh, that's annoying. Look, it's going to be there. Well, Peter, he needs to pop out to the paint shop for some more thrilling viewing. Now, let's get this right, because clearly that, yeah, look, the side that's got the little cities and the buildings on it, that's the side that that needs to go on. Now, it doesn't matter which way the header goes on, does it? That doesn't matter, does it? That's a funny joke for you. That's a modular joke for all of you. Modular heads. Where's my blue tack? Where's my freedom tack? Look at that. Freedom tack. Hello, Alex Hexiel. Hershey's tastes odd to Brits due to butyric acid. Yeah, also found in vomit. Yeah, and parmesan. I told you. I said literally. That was like, I've not read the wiki. That is just, it tastes like sick to me. And interestingly, it literally has the compound of vomit in it. You can't chalk that up to international differences. On what planet is it considered like a desirable taste profile quality thing that it tastes a bit like vom? I find that odd in the extreme. Still a bit upset about being called 60. I'm pretty old though. No, my freedom tack's going. Oh, mate. Come on. Stay down, freedom tack. Oh. The best laid plans of mice and men. It's just not work. Yeah, just like Hershey's, it's just not. It's not good. Well, I mean, you know, people like different things. It's fine. What about that? No, that's not an acute angle. I want you to stay in. I want you to stay in like that. I want you to not go nowhere. Maybe multiple freedom tags. Good to have like a side angle, wouldn't it? We'll work on that for a future stream. Enjoy those arm hairs. Ooh. That's me hitting the mic. Sorry. You're right. It is easier holding a roll. What? Still not convinced about tearing it off with my teeth, though. Yes, mate. I feel like I should be drinking vodka or whiskey for my essential tremor. That's the tremor in my hands. Because it helps, actually, weirdly. I mean, not to condone alcoholism, but, well, certainly not, but as in to condone the drinking of alcohol, but it does help steady hands. Unfortunately, there's, as with all things, there's a bell curve where you become better at something and then you become considerably worse. Yeah, absolute full cups of vomit there. Vomit drops. Excrement. Tom Montecchi says, I always thought Hershey's chocolate smelled like the zoo. Oh, mate. Nothing says rich, creamy taste of a treat like eating zoo smell. Right. Onward. We're at step 2. I see. Place the female headers on the microcontroller and then jam it into the hole and then solder it. Place it on so that, it holds its form or what have you. Which is to say, it means these long units. Wang the long ones. Now, let's talk sides, shall we? I see the little city building is on that side, isn't it? So we make it look like the picture. That's a good tip from Maurice Kelly here. Solder the ends, just one pin at the end, and check that you're sitting pretty. Yeah, and then you don't have to unsolder loads when you get it wrong. Look at this. What's this little treat in here? This looks important. This looks like the thing that actually is the module. In my day, this was all discrete. We used proper circuits where we didn't have any of these fancy microcontrollers. That's just cheating. There's almost certainly more computation power on this than sending people to the moon. What even is this? It's an ST microcontroller. The 10 something. It's got a lot of numbers. It's not memorable. But it'll do. And I hope it's programmed. I assume it is. Ooh, really like stab myself. Connect myself to the microcontroller. What was the side? The side with the little building on it. Like this. And what was the way up? It was the way up with the weird yellow bits of the city at the top. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. We're going to hide away the pins on the other side of this, but we're all good. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, take one last look, mate. You're entombing these bad boys. so easy to miss one. Like I was saying before, they just look like when the light's on them, it just looks like it's hard to spot. It makes all sense. If that all makes sense, I'm going to stab myself. There we go. Yeah, STM32, I think it is. It did say STM32. I'm not au fait with the world of like microcontrollers and stuff, but I do hear I've sort of heard of module makers getting kind of dewy-eyed about the, what they can do these days. There's always something that's like, wow, this one's amazing. We can now have 100 FM voices. Can certainly have a few. No shame here, some kind of modular monster. There's some quality Hershey's Kisses under this, which surprised me. Is it's been like a year since I sold it anything. Sorry. Place the female headers on the micro. Should we just make this bigger? Because I have to like... Oh, I can't. Put it into its place and solder on the other side. Remove the microcontroller and plate and connect the spacer to the screw below. There is a weird little standoff fella. Ah. Okay. Seems simple enough. I can attest this module does not smell like the zoo just yet. We're working on that. If I take it out live, perhaps it will. It might smell like a cup of tea if we're not careful. Recharge. These are really good, by the way. The Fellow. This is like the Fellow mug, which keeps your tea warm. But it's got this. It's hard to show without pouring tea of the module. But it's got this kind of sharp rim, which is really good. So it's like eminently sippable, which is also the name of my new EP. I feel I should put it on this coaster that I have. Not from Tom himself, but from his company. I have got tea on my little mat. God bless Tom. I hope he's all right. Is that going to stay in there? Does that help? Is that any different? That feels like it is actually holding it in a bit more. Could use my little thing. We're going in. What? Excuse me. I didn't do the corners because I've used tack. We are getting into thermos season. Isn't it always thermos season in some senses? It's just, it keeps the beverage hot. Mug of minestrone, though, on a cold day. Life affirming. It's as good as it gets. On a walk in the malls. Do they have malls in the Americas? I guess they've got plains, marshes, bogs. This isn't really holding it in place. I feel like there's got to be some kind of device that could hold the... And I don't just mean like the thing that I've got that holds it, but like some of the sort of oddly shaped object that kind of just, it's like shaped like one of those things from a World War II, like beach defences, like a sort of prickly shaping object that just kind of holds. You're going to put a PCB on it, it just stays. That'll be helpful. It's just helping hands, isn't it, with like alligator clips, but why I'm not just using that because I've got one right next to me. Don't know. I feel like I know better. Don't. Sold one from the other end. Yeah, you're worried it's going to fall out, aren't you? But I've done so many now. I don't think it will. Anyway, it's too late. It's okay. Oh, I have to turn this round now. I've not done it. I'm fine. This is for you. There you go. We'll do the other one. Oh, shit. That's, Oi! Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bovril. I used to have Bovril on toast until I worked out that you're supposed to do that with Marmite. I think it was also good in its own way. One of the few things from the 30s that we still have. Well, maybe not true, but like I learned that Vimto is like 1920s or 10s or whatever and still exists. Hot Vimto, absolutely banging. Am I soldering like it's just this little fella. Don't wanna get this wrong. Well, I'm trying not to melt the that's actually quite awkward. Orcs. Yeah, Marmite and scrambled eggs on toast. Correct. You are living life, sir. That is how we do it. No, that's not working. Excuse me. I haven't done all these yet. Just sort of taking stock. It's the ones down the side are actually quite hard to do. Wait. Maybe I will use this. Can't get any worse. Ah. No, that's not going to work. That's annoying. It seems like a good idea. You're like, oh, I'll get that. Oh, I'll use it. And you're just like, will I? I'll have this. Like the old school, your old, literally the thing you would have had at school. Which just feels like it'll just sort of crunch the board. Look at that. It's like helping. It is a helping hand, I suppose. Yeah, okay. I'll allow this. Yeah, I've got the morning I woke up dead. We're using Freedom Tack here in order to keep the product in position. Please stay. Come on. Yes. No. Yes. literally about to press my skin against this. Come on. This solder is quite fine. Takes a fair bit of it. A centimetre or two each. But yeah, there's no surface mount on this to do. It's been done for me. Maybe by Timo or whoever he gets them from. Uli Barringer, right? Yeah, that's it. That's a joke. Oh God. God. My Lord. This is absolutely fucking hell. Sorry. I'm just like, I've got a lot of like orientation to do here. Oh my God. Definitely warming that up a little bit. Well, that's a good idea. 2 rubber discs to like have it clamp things where there isn't a sort of edge to bite into. That's a good idea. I have actually got a load of that that sort of grip slip mat stuff that you get from IKEA, which is quite good for putting gear on tables and stuff. And when you stack gear on top of gear and you know it's not actually strapped down, I use that stuff to help it stay in position. Works well, and I could use it here, in fact. Oh my Lord. There we go. My 4-track machine, in answer to your question, we are building, welcome to the stream, everyone. This is where I am durationally building a Timo Rozendal FMP, full metal percussion machine, or basically it's an FM voice made by Timo Rozendal, who's a really nice man. And this was the module that was given to me on a bus late at night at Superbooth a year ago, which I featured in a video that I did about my sort of diary video. Basically, the man just sort of giving me this module out of his bag. Well, that's this kit. Finally building it. I'll show you in a sec. Basically, it is a right there. It's an FM voice, and it's also an FM drum machine. I don't know about the provenance. Like, as we were establishing earlier, there's just an ST microcontroller. So I think it's like Timo's, well, I assume it's like Timo's design or something. It's like Timo's little, the kisses are in a line. The kisses are in a line. Only a small amount of heat damage to this. It could have been considerably worse. Yeah. Here's the panel, the panel. Well, that's one. Excuse me. Yeah, it's got like carrier modulator, all of the things. 2-op. Basically, 2-op FM voice, but with a little switch here. No, there. Tone and drum. So basically, it's like a drum voice as well. So you can click this down, and then these become like tom level, HH level, SN level. Lord knows how you trigger them. Lord only. I genuinely don't know how you do that. Does it have MIDI? Oh yeah, silicon tubing on it. That's a good shout as well. So many shouts, all good. I feel like every successful run of Kisses deserves a sip of tea. And yeah, I have a lot of modules just sat in a box. I've got the 3394 voice from Timo as well, which he sent me kindly. So I was like, oh, better actually sort of build this stuff. But the thing that's really bringing it on is the fact that I've got to the left of me like live system, and it's like a 6U case, so I am mindful to have these like voices. I'm like, I need to build them because I want to start trying them, and just see like, you know, you never know if they're going to be the thing that, you know, that stays in the case, but I've got them, so let's try them. They sound really good in principle. Oh no, you messed up an Erica synth kick module. Surely it's salvageable. I feel like with it feels, initially it felt like it couldn't be, like soldering stuff, like you break it, you've broken it. I mean, it may be true of chips, but I think I've discovered, like from a few bodge jobs that I fixed and old synths and stuff, I got like a Kawai K1M that was broken, had a bad power inlet, and I fixed it. Like myself, like stupid me, and I'm not a soldering, well, I can solder, but I'm not like a technician. But it's surprising how solvable these problems are. It's kind of just plumbing to some degree. I mean, famous last words. Obviously, if you fry a chip, then yeah. Remove the microcontroller and connect the spacer to the screw below. What I don't like is that I see here these things have been attached, and this is... I have not got to that step yet. Oh. Timo, did you miss a step? Where's the bit that tells you to do these? Oh, place the female headers into the male headers. Oh, and put the wall. Is that what that means? Female headers into the male headers. What? Not the best description. English is not Timo's first language, so, I mean, speaks it better than I do, probably. So, I think looking at this is basically the same on both sides, this little fella. And I think what he's saying is to get that into there like that. Oh shit, the bed off. Thank you, my 4-track machine. You have reminded me that, yes, actually, the SD microcontroller is not... I was being stupid, and this shows just I got given this. I've not actually... It's been years since I've thought about it. But basically, yeah, that's like a Yamaha YMF chip that's going to do the FMing. And this is just telling it what to do. Excellent. I'm glad I'm building this. Definitely a thing we need. Yeah. Put that in. I mean, in the picture, it shows the... Who needs screwdrivers? I mean, there's this whole thing about these fellas. These little doofs. These things. I guess these are the female headers. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. He's saying put these together. It's the sort of, you know how it's sometimes not always I don't know. I just think you could. I would have. What should I say? A little bit. You can explain a bit more. You can use more words, more pictures, and make it really obvious. Show a picture of them. Like put these in. Not everyone understands what a header is, but that is what it means. Does it matter which way round they go? Does it matter? If it mattered, he would say. I concur with signal sounds. You should. I just think you can't be too. It's not possible to hold people's hands too much, I think. Famous last words. I'm sure it is possible, but do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think in instances like this is very terse language, and I think you could hold my hand. I don't mind. I see. Yeah. Okay, right. I get this step. So now we, orientation doesn't matter. The orientation of that does matter, though. Which way round is it gonna be? Make it look like the picture. Okay, the busy ass side with all the white stuff goes on that side out, does it? Of course it does, because that's the front of the module. Sorry, this is going to be the side that, that all the sockets attached to and stuff, so it will become the front of the module effectively. I see what you mean. And it's saying to use this to like bring the whole thing together. So we have to basically make ourselves a delicious silicon sandwich. Talk amongst yourselves, and maybe some time. Wow. Ask me how it's going. Shut up with you read the whole bill guide before you start. That reminds me of school where there was like the teacher did this thing where they were like, here's a little test. And they said, read everything before you start. And then I remember Philip Warnes put his hand up immediately. And I was like, what are you doing that for, you idiot? And then of course, the final question was, don't do any of the things, just put your hand up. And he was teaching us the lesson that I thought I didn't need to learn. I did. Well, this is fun, isn't it? Maurice, did you just buy one of these? Did I literally sell one of these on stream? Am I now one of those like, the like hardcore kind of retail streamers that like, are like, boom. I saw that amazing video of the lady who's like selling clothes, and she's like basically doing a quick change every like 10 seconds. And she like flings off the dress, having, I don't know, sold like 1 million in like half a second or whatever, and then puts on another dress in like one maneuver. She like can throw her own dress off in like a one-handed thing, like one-handedly. Check that bad boy out. That was a NAM prize. That's me now, flinging modules. Amazing. I'm glad that you bought it, Maurice. That's It seems really, genuinely seems really cool. I haven't heard this, obviously, but how can it be bad? It's literally like a, old school Yamaha chip. Super cool. Yeah, we should have like a little ticker and a call now. I loved watching QVC when I was at university. Somewhat worse for wear, late at night with my buds, like watching QVC, always like compelling for some insane, like just the human comedy of it. I love it. Kind of weird people, sort of plastic vibes. Just like, yeah, it is a 4MS branded screwdriver. I got this at NAM. It was like, can I have this? They're like, that's our screwdriver. And I just turned and ran. Not been able to speak to them since. No, they were giveaways. I think it said sold to this. But check twice, do once. I realise my mistake now is put the fucking chip in. Excuse my French. Put the effing chip in. Put the effing chip in. That step is not illustrated. Where's the put the effing chip in? No, it says install the header and put the chip in it. It does say that. I'm banging to rights here. Timo, sorry. Maybe I can fit it in through here like this without taking that off. I'm sure that's possible. I could just like put it down there and then just like lever it like that. That'll be fine, won't it? I've been a silly boy. Hence the read all the instructions. I mean, to be fair, I'd already passed this step. I should have read it. Look at that. Pure ripping John Chowning in there. Pure silicon Chowning. This is going to be, these are all going to come out now after it took me about 45 minutes to get them in. FML. I mean, he doesn't talk about orientation, but this is another one of those things where I'm like, you're stupid. You need to be told. And so I do feel that they should say, the circle is the notch. But it doesn't. Spell it out. Put the effing chip in. Hello. This is effing chip in. Is very good. Very good. Trying to bend its pins without buggering it up too much. Oh dear. Just always think there's going to be a moment where I just like bend it and all the little legs just fly off. All right. Come on, what's the technique? The technique is put it on the table and just roll the fucker. Just give it a little. Give it a leg roll. Like that. Straighten it out. Straighten out that side, and then we'll straighten out the other side, and then we'll put them in. That's how you do it. Of course, I'm doing this on a little bit of my silicon pad here that unfortunately has a little bit too much play in it. Bend it over and pop it in. I'm talking about the chip, you dirty bastard. What do you think I mean? Right. Boom. A little bug is in its little house. Little bug house. Look at him. He's not fully in his house, but what I'm trying to not do is that thing of like having one leg knotted and then pushing it down and then it just all going like bleh. Oh yeah. That's a satisfying feeling. Look at that. It's in this little house. Little house of synthesis. even though it doesn't matter, I want all of these to be orientated the same way. Right, and we put this back on the correct way around. Lord, is there a clever way of doing this that just isn't really annoying? I'm not sure there is a clever way. Oh, you could just kind of press it and jiggle them from side to side. That seems like one conceivable technique. Boom. No. Oh no. Here you go, mate. Right, screw it in before you screw it up. Oh. Greetings, Oliver, from Northern California. Well, to you in Northern California, welcome. I'm in the United Kingdom, the North. It is 11 minutes past midnight on Friday, and I should be asleep, but I thought, why not build this Eurorack module that I've had sat around for a full year from Superbooth. This was the module I was given by Timo Rozendal, the wonderful Timo. I hope all is well, Kelly. Mike Ariza says, you've inspired my wife and I to jam together through your video about anyone being able to make techno. That is absolutely... Do you know what that calls for? Yes, mate. That's fantastic. Thank you. That is what we like to hear. I exist to help you make a music. Great. What sort of techno? What will you play? How does it work? Mostly random. Hello, mate. Good evening. You should be in bed. My 4-track machine says, reading up on the YM2413 a little bit more, it's a 2-op cut-down version of the OPL2 chip. It was used in more consumer product applications for computing and toy keyboards. It'll have a lo-fi crunch. Yes, that's what we like. Yeah, there was like the whole range of little consumer goods. They really milked it. Very smart. Be like, well, we can just make this really small and then sell it to companies and sell millions of the buggers without having to sell sort of full FM synths. And there's the whole thing of like, no, I should take that off. No, it won't. Does it make it harder to solder? Yes and no. Yes, you got the air horns for that. That deserves air horns. There are air horns available for the correct type of input. You've got to try a few things, see what gets it. Hi, making sound machines. No strangers to solder fumes yourself. Yeah, Timo's. This is the FMP, the full metal plink machine, not like the other plink machines, of course, that you make. Oh wow, mostly random. What is about? You're working late. You are working nights. Where do you work, if I can ask? Where are you now? What should you be doing? Are you in any way being irresponsible? I'm sure not. I'm sure everything's fine. And it's not a problem to watch paint dry. But to warn you, you might fall asleep, and that would get you fired. But not if it's mid-afternoon. Although, if it for you, when's your 3 p.m.? You know, the functional equivalent of the 3 p.m. slump. The most dangerous time of the day. Where people schedule meetings and things like, what are you doing? Everyone's tired. And I read that apparently the reason for the 3 p.m. slump is that is to say, to clarify what I'm talking about, the fact that everyone gets tired at 3 p.m., don't they? Like, you can set your watch by it. I know it. Like, you know that feeling where you're like, oh, I've just got to feel really sleepy. You look at your watch, it's 3 p.m. And that is because, apparently, this may or may not be true, but, you read it on the internet, it must be true, that humans are diurnal. That is to say that humans are supposed to sleep twice a day, not once. And we're supposed to have a nap. The whole concept of the siesta is bang on. We're supposed to have a nap. And don't they say, like, there's all these things about geniuses and Einstein saying, oh, he has a nap, would nap at a certain time of day, really believed in naps. What did Einstein ever achieve? But then, of course, the notion of having a nap, imagine asking your boss, can I have a, I read a book that said that actually I'll be really effective and actually do more if I just take a real break and have a nap. Imagine trying to get that one through. But then that just shows the stupidity of modern work when, in fact, actually, if that is truly what would be, it's like the 4-day work week and stuff. There's every chance it actually is better. But, of course, it just defies sort of common sense, is it? Well, people are like, well, if you're up, you're working. If you're alive, you're working, aren't you? But the reality is that you might well be not working. It's a bit like the whole working from home and bosses who can't handle the fact they think that everyone who's working from home is clearly just like asleep in bed. They can't really be working. They can't. Whereas, the whole point is that if you are left to your own devices, if you're given space and autonomy and peace so that you're not in a massive open plan office being distracted all the time, you actually probably work really effectively. And just because you're in the office doesn't mean that you're working. You can easily be like checked out, look busy, whilst doing absolutely sweet FA. I have lots of feelings about it, having worked in open plan offices and then read like Cal Newport's Deep Work book, which is just like the whole concept of open plan offices is pretty questionable. It's just invented by someone who was like, well, I could just cram more people in this way. And then bosses who basically think that it's a byproduct, or like, if I can see people, then I'm managing them. If I can see people, then they're working. Which isn't the case. Hello, Northern California. Mostly Random works 2 till 10. 2 p.m. Wait, what? You work 2 till 10. 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. Oh, and you're wherever you are. Sorry, you're not in the UK, is what I assume here. Yes, well, I know I'm wrong, but every time I hear Timo, I think Timo Rozendal, the really low-cost £5 module. Yeah, mate, £5 FM module, and it's like absolutely a dog. I never bought anything off Temu. I have bought loads of stuff off AliExpress, though. Kind of love it. Oh, yeah, 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. But it's midnight. Oh, you've been at work. Where are you at work now? I'm confused. I think, sorry, I was like half paying attention here. Have we got kisses? Are we covered in kisses? Yeah. The fatal error is to be too smug. Think you know what you're doing. Always the best policy to be like, I'm dumb. Take my time. That didn't go well. I don't know if my words are eloquent, but I have strong feelings about it, about Labour, that is. And of course, now I work for myself. It's like, it's weird. You know, you try and have an opportunity to do, I can sort of do whatever I want, but then I'm like, well, I've got stuff to do. I want to get everything done. It's a challenge, like, when you're your own boss. Like, I'm not averse to managers. Like, it's definitely helpful for me to have, like, structure imposed and, like, you know, people to help you sort your priorities. Be like, focus on this. This is the most useful thing, you know. But there's just, I've worked in an industry where there's a lot of accidental managers. People who have found themselves in managerial positions, but were not trained in that. And I've also worked in places where there were trained managers. And I must say, the trained ones are maybe a bit better. Training helps. Anyway, now I'm the manager, so all bets are off. Might be like, hi, it's yeah, I know it's midnight, but could you just come into the office and solder an FM module, please? Yeah, but yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm fine. That's reasonable. Yeah, my boss is weird. He why we bleep with Jeremy Corbyn. That would be something. Well, I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with being an excellent manager, but just, I think, you know, read a book and be mindful of how you come across. I'm sure you are. Supporting people, it's, yeah. It's not easy. It's a skill, like all of it. It's, where's my solder? Can anyone, like 100 points, help me understand why the Americans pronounce it solder when it's solder? Where is my solder? Where is my solder? It's in front of me, isn't it? It was under the like leg of the little thing that was. Oh, that's a real gotcha. What was that supposed to do? Just rip this with my teeth? Urgh. Wow, I feel powerful. Why is it solder and solder? Aluminium. Tomato. That reminds me, speaking of tomatoes, I have some pizza dough that I actually need to, I need to go and ball in a second. I literally need to go and attend to my balls, my pizza balls, because Friday's pizza day in this house, and my job is to make a pizza. Oi! It comes from a French word, souder. Souder. You reminded me of a fact. I posted on my Patreon a new video about why it doesn't matter if you release music or not. And one fact that I didn't include in that video, but I wished I had, was that the word amateur, which is used as a derogatory term, you know, someone might describe you as an amateur musician. And I think that if you say someone's an amateur musician, that's a bit of a, in my opinion, I think it sounds like a bit of a dick thing to say to someone. Oh, a bit of an amateur musician, are you? You know what I mean? That it's used as a pejorative. But the word amateur comes from the French meaning to love something. It means that you do it for the love, not as a income source, but that you actually love it. And so it's a pejorative, I actually think, is it's better. It's not better necessarily. I mean, it's inherently that's not fair, but I was going to say it's actually better than you being a paid professional musician. That's not fair, not true. But it's a pejorative. And in fact, actually, I think it's commendable because that person's just doing it because they love it. What could be more, what's the word? Not wholesome, edifying, genuine. Doing it if you're talking about the reasons people do things. So, nothing wrong with being amateur. In fact, I think it's commendable. It shows that you just love something and you just do it because you love it. And anyone who has a problem with that is a dick. And they need a hobby. Lord, there's a lot of world leaders that I think desperately need an effing hobby. I did have a conversation once where we're like, let's make it our business to get dictators of the world to somehow sneak hobbies into their lives so they just have something else to focus on. With that said, the risk of being controversial, I do remember seeing that Alex Jones, the InfoWars presenter, has a electronic music setup. I was like, what does your techno sound like, mate? But, if he loves it, fair play. Good for you, mate. I'm happy you have a hobby. Perhaps spend more time doing it. Right, how are my kisses? Kiss, kiss. Sorry, just waking everyone up. Yeah, they're good. It's good. Move on. It's good. You've done it right. What? I've gone to all the trouble of... Oh, I could have unscrewed it. Well, I need to unscrew it. So I then could have done the... Why do I need to unscrew it? Oh, because I need to solder it from the other side. Okay. Okay, Temu. That is true. He does have a golf hobby, does the American president? Not hobby enough, in my opinion. Yes, the American political situation, well, the world's general situation is quite a thing. I think we can all do with a hobby. We all need a hobby just to give ourselves a little bit of effing mental peace. Obviously, important to stay, to some degree, engaged with these things. But it is also important to at least have some of a break. Otherwise, you'll go mad. Right. I've unscrewed the boards. I did it. Okay. Remove the small lid from the potentiometers with a plier. Okay. I wish I somehow had an overlay which would show the signal sounds listing for this. I don't know if they're actually selling this currently, but this is their the Signal Sounds like 3D printed thing kit you can buy. Well, divide my balls. That's sorry, just because I need to go divide my pizza balls. I might need to do that. Oh, watch your eyes when you clip those tabs. Really? Said like someone with no eyes. You know, I should put these on. This is like, you know, it's not that bad. What you on about? Remove the small lid from the potentiometers. Oh, he's going to go flying, isn't it? Get the goggles. The goggles, they do nothing. Right, I'm going to put them on. Oh my God, I'm wearing way too much stuff on my head. I've got right there. My Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters 2 costume on. I am wearing the goggles. I do nothing. Right. Get ready. Just clip this and like a nuclear explosion goes off. Boom. Oh my God. I just heard it like I did the click and then just like about 4 feet away, 5 meters away, I hear it pinging. Why is this? Is this just because it will not sit flush if we don't? Like the board, like the... We'll have a little done pile, shall we? Oui. These are from thonk.co.uk. Available now. We've got 200 left. Call the number, get yourself some nice little snippers. You can snip anything with these. You can snip my ring off my hand. You can snip tomatoes. You can snip it. Oh, lovely. Oh, it's just a lovely colour, isn't it? It's just lovely. It feels great in the hand, doesn't it? Yeah. Just need a little ticker. Right. Never felt safer in my life. Anti-rotation tab. Yeah. But I guess it does just lift off the thing. Off the thing. It lifts off the thing. Right. Remove the small lid from the potentiometers. Place all the parts on the top PCB as shown. Don't solder them yet. S1 is... Hey, what is on off on? S2 is on. LE125. Oh, my Lord. What could possibly go wrong? Right. Do we not put it back together? Or put it back, like, you know, put it back together and then put it together. I may have to go do my balls, which is that my balls are my pizza balls, and I need to ball them and put them in the fridge. Otherwise, you know, they're just not like, you know, the process. There's a process. Got to have those balls correctly balled so that we can have delicious pizza tomorrow. You're coming round, right? Does that go in there like that? Just hanging off the top. Crazy town. So I might just, we'll have to take I'm going to go take a 5-minute break to go and do that and then come back. I just need to do it. So I'm going to unplug the soldering iron because I can't think of anything more lethal. And no, we don't want to overproof our balls. So I want you all to, anyone who's here, I mean, you can get a cup of tea, have a little rest, take stock, think about what you've learned so far. And I'm going to be right back, mate. Check this out. Look at this level of professionalism. This is just like beyond, this is like, I just want to like, I feel like it. Overproven balls, the Milo Melodies story. Yeah. I'm going to be right back. I will be about 5 minutes. My balls are triumphant. Oh dear. Yeah. Hello, we're back. Sorry, let me check this is... Are we still? Are we working? I'm getting a complaint message from YouTube, which could be that I turned sound off. Oh, yeah. I've got a high bit rate. That's interesting. Interesting. Maybe my bit rate setting is far too high. Anyway, thank you. My balls are great. We have 6 delicious balls. Right, sorry, what the hell? What's going on? Who are all of you? Why are you in my house? Yeah, let's have a look. Okay. What could possibly go wrong with me doing this late at night? Right, so basically put all the little things in the hole, but don't solder them. I find this baffling. You're supposed to careen off the top of the thing like this. Is that what you want? Guess so. It shows in the picture. Make it look like the picture. My leg's bent. Yes, mate. Indeed. Wonder how many things I've built at this point. Been building like DIY stuff for quite a long time. It was like early on in my sort of modular world. Just kind of rapidly realized I was like, I'm gonna have to DIY stuff to like make this affordable in any way, shape, or form. I remember that. Well, I think the first thing I built was a 4MS RCD rotating clock divider, which is an awesome module, which I still have, and always works. Yeah, it's a good skill to have. And it's like, yeah, I feel like, well, I don't know. I feel like if anyone's scared of soldering in this day and age, it's like, surely you know that you can teach yourself anything with YouTube. With enough YouTube, that's like anything's possible. And it's not something to be afraid of. Knobs. Yeah. It's absolutely not straight, but that's why we're going to put the panel on, isn't it? Yeah, this build is really simple. It's just like basic stuff. And oh, hello, Remy. Yes, it is late to be soldering. Oh, yeah, mostly random. Also on the RCD, yeah, it's a great module. Yeah, still works. I feel like yeah, it's been ages since I've used it. Like there was a time when like I needed it in every patch, and then I guess Pamela's and things have come along and made that less necessary. But it's still a really good module. not least the like rotational aspect is cool. So S1 is on off on. S2 is on. That's S2. That's S1. Sorry, as Remy rightly points out, that S1 is on off on. Which one's S1? S1's the top one. Top one is on off on. That means, I mean, again, this is a very assumptive statement. Like, I know what on off on means, but I can deduce what you're telling me is that it's the one that has a middle position and the one that does not have a middle position. Must be that. Does the orientation matter? I guess you'd tell me if it did. How are you, Remy? We are well here. Whoop. Oh, excuse me. This is me changing my screen so I can actually see this. LEDs. I recommend to put the small hex nuts on the switches to get the correct height. Fair. Small hex nut. Small hex nut. That's a hex nut. On the switches. Now looking at the picture. What do you mean? Oh no. It's happening. I just sort of like stuffed the soldering iron onto my arm. Just full death. It's late. I can't go on for very much longer. That's not sensible, is it? I don't know what you mean, my dear Timo. Yeah. Just not sure what he means by that. Like, put the hex nuts. What hex nuts? Small hex nuts. Does he mean that small? There are these small little, like, these little fellas, but these look like that's what you put on a panel, not what you put prior to the panel going on. Oh, the sockets and everything as well. Probably should put those on, shouldn't I? I feel like I want to use my... what the shit? Oh, yes, mate. That goes there. It's going well. And thank you, Oliver, for the vote of confidence. I have, in some senses, got this. I'm technically capable of this. Yeah, I definitely could cook my arm here, Remy. In fact, actually, at the moment, it's cold. I need to turn it on. You missed that we went for a ball break. That was for me to go and tend my pizza balls. And this is the bit where I have to ask who's going to Bristronica next week, because I am not at Machina. I mean, it should be Machina because it's Latin. I'm not going to Bristronica, and that is because it is my son's birthday. And I'm going to that party because that's really important. I am at his birthday. He is 6. But so I can't go because same weekend. What, sad trumpet. But who is going? And what are you looking forward to? I mean, we don't know yet, do we? Because there is stuff. I've heard about stuff that's coming. There is some exciting things. Can't say what it is, obviously. But yeah, unsurprisingly, the exciting things are exciting. I mean, as I can speak for the group, that, in my opinion, what makes these shows good is just the people. Going to see people like yourself, Remy, and just hanging out, kind of reconnecting with humans. For that is what we are. That is why we are here. It is for humans. Right. Aha. Good on you. I was about to have a go at them for not having a thing about what's the orientation of the LEDs. They did say that. The longest leg goes in the hole denoted with a plus. I am literally making it look like the picture. The picture isn't very descriptive in the bottom left, where there is actually an LED, but in the picture it's all dark, can't see. And just to fox you, the LED is the other way up in that little hole. Starting to look successful. Signal Sounds crew will be there. Yes. Ah. Yeah. Not everyone gets to go. Some people have got to stay and man the fort, right? What's that? What's Exhibit A? What's this? That looks important, doesn't it? I've got nothing left. Got nothing. I got butt kiss, as they say. Sweet FA. A big load of nothing going in there. So, what the fuck? Oh, okay. No, there's a switch. This is going to be funny, isn't it? If there's no effing switches here. Wait, why is that? There's something in the picture. What is it? Enhance. It's a button. It's the button. There's an effing button. Where's the button? Oh, heads will roll. It's in here, isn't it? Or is it? No, you are kidding me. There's no button. Oh. It is absolutely a footprint for a button. I don't think that was it. That's the box. I've got a funny feeling here. Aha. So close. Do you think it's long enough? That unit is very proud of itself. Very, very, very. This was given to me by Timo himself. So there'd be no one to blame but himself. It was in there. It was in there. It was in the bag. Guess what? It's user error. Big surprise there. Can you believe it? I bet you can't. Me about to literally on the internet complaining already. I think the file was not included. Did you look in the box? Yes. Did you look hard in the box? Maybe. Look again. Yeah, it's in the box. Bye. Like, don't say sorry. Just hang up. That was almost what I did. I was almost that customer. Ungrateful. Quick to judge. Laying the blame anywhere but on my own feet. That would have been drama. It would have been the most frustrating episode of paint drying ever. You don't even get to see the effing paint dry. Look at him poking through. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then we got to like screw them on, don't we? Like, not all of them, but we screw. This is where I do like a couple of screws. Right? Surely? Surely right? That really would have been a thing, wouldn't it? If that wasn't on there. Mind the orientation. Yeah, I'll mind your orientation. Okay. Then place the panel and fasten the Jackson pots. Solder everything. Make sure the button can be pushed properly. Do the leads last. Then cut the leads of the leads. Cut the lead leads. Place the microcontroller. Everything is good. I just saw mostly random messages. 2 months ago, I spent an hour looking for the TV remote. Found it in the fridge. Spectacular. Spectacular work, my friend. I, too, have a similar story that one day, many years ago, I was looking for my digital camera and I found it in the fridge also. I think I was pissed. I was extremely pissed. And for whatever reason, felt like that was the correct thing to do. Now, I don't know about you, but I shop at Signal Sounds. I don't, in the sense they sent me this. I didn't buy this. But if I did buy this, I'd be feeling pretty proud of my purchase right about now. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. The little flower just tightens that up. Tightens that up right good and proper, that little flower does. Is it even? Is it even? Yeah, it is even. Like that. Yes, little flower. Tighten that up. Tighten my nuts. There we go. Don't over tighten. Absolutely spec blinking tacular. Love it. Love a good tool. And they've even got a little cradle they come in and why don't you pick one up for yourself? I think you deserve a little treat. Pop your credit card details in here. Throw your credit card at the screen. Hold it up to the light. I can see that. Okay, cool. The money's come out. That's yours now. I'll be there in 5 minutes. You were sober when you put the TV remote in the fridge, but you just like popping it down. You know, I'll just pop that down while I open a block of cheese and like cut off a slice. Keep me going. 3 a.m. What this tells me, I mean, like even just the final assembly process of a modular. Can you imagine, like, you know, this is the like what people do if you have your boards like populated somewhere else, you know, in China or like with a company. There are like I know there are people like in the UK and in France, like where Mutable used to get their modules made. They would be, you know. To be fair, I think maybe by the end they would. No, I think maybe they did final assembly. But the point is, like, you would order this and all the sort of soldery bits would be applied to it, but you still have to do final assembly. And the reality is, final assembly, as we've established from this, like glacial, I mean, it is effing as glacial as it gets, but just final assembly takes a long time. Unsurprisingly, it's just like, oh, what? Oh, maybe those were supposed to go underneath. Oh no, those are they're for the blinking, blonking jacks. Now, I do somewhere have like the banana nut like driver as well. May or may not help with this. Oh, that's tedious, isn't it? Yes. Because these were a bit of like getting these jack ones on are a bit tricky, aren't they? And you never get them on that tight, and so they come off, and you find them when you go and play live with your modular, you find them in the lid. Oh my God. Oh, folks. Folks, did it. I did it. Right. Even just like screwing in 8 pots and 3 sockets, like, is like a full 10-minute process. It's just time consuming. It's a thing. Man, it's just basically there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and so then when people go, why does it cost so much money? You're like, well, because one person has to do that, and they also had to develop it and make the whole thing worthwhile and live to like fight another day and like release another module. It's a lot of work. Yeah. I am with you on that, mostly random. Yeah. There are a lot of nuts on the maths. It will be a lot of work. And then you've got Uli Barringer making his own version of your thing. That must smart, as they say. Right. Enough talk. Checking our work. Solder everything. Make sure the button can be pushed. Do the LEDs last. Screw the back sides and done. More or less. Right. We're on the home straight, folks. Although this is going to be prime time for me missing where things go. $32 nuts. Yeah, that is mad. They must have some kind of nut driver. Some kind of tool to drive the nuts. Why did the man have this? What did the man say? What is it? Man went to the doctor. Doctor, I've got a steering wheel down my pants. Doctor says, how did it get there? He says, don't know, but it's driving me nuts. Which, obviously, everyone's heard before, but it is good. That is a good joke. Anyway. Right. Home straight. Home straight. Anyone else got any jokes? I can't see what you're saying, but talk amongst yourselves while I rate this. Okay. Getting through this stuff, aren't we? I need some fat solder. No. Oh, I'm being restricted by the LEDs. Success. Kisses. Pure kisses. What is that? Oh, right, Lord. Okay. That's why he said to put the spacer on, because it's... Don't like that switch is not... It is basically hanging a bit loose in the socket, as it were. Oh... The What's Brown and Sticky is a classic. Right, we're going to use our Freedom Tack. Where's it gone? What gives, man? What gives? Freedom Tack. My 4-track machine says, during the break, I started programming some FM drums for the Sega Mega Drive. What? What? Have you got something YMF 262 emulator, such as the one made by Plug? Yeah. You say, yeah, these Signal Sounds asks, should there be nuts for the switches? Well, if so, riddle me this. Where be they? I don't think there are. I think this is one of those just like switches poke through precariously style modules, which is just, you know, without any like, you know, additional fluff. I'm thinking of the Arturia Mini Brutes patch panel, which was nut free for the nut sufferers, nut allergy sufferers. No probs, no nuts on those things for some reason. I don't know. Was it cheaper? But they are nut free, aren't they? They are nut free, I can tell you. So if you're feeling flush, you'd buy a load of nuts and then just attach them to the panel. Right, okay, sorry. I was about to solder this little fella. This is like real danger territory here, where you've got like a whole like field of things to solder and you're like, ee. I can only barely see this. What? I just read your message, my 4-track machine. I'm a chiptune guy. I can program it in a tracker and then run it on a real Mega Drive. Well, was a chiptune. Yeah. Wait, what? Wow. So what do you mean? You program the FM sounds and then load them into the real Mega Drive. What do you program them on? What's the software? How do you load them into a real Mega Drive? Please, the full story, because I am one of those people who, for whom the Mega Drive is like, you know, burnt into my psyche. That's part of why I like FM synths is basically the soundtrack to Echo the Dolphin, and like every, you know, Streets of Rage, obviously Yuzo Koshiro, that whole, you know, it's just bloody it's part of it. It's part of my like synth love. But that was like prior to like listening to synth bands, you know. If I really think about it, what I mean is that is probably the first electronic music that I was like, this is great. But I was too young to fully appreciate it. So I'm certainly interested. Yeah, how does that work? Because I look at that. What's the not? Who is it who makes it? The Mega FM or whatever it is. You know that. You know what I'm talking about. The big like knobby box that Cuckoo's made videos of. I think I did try to reach out to that company. I was like, would you be interested in doing anything? And got absolutely butt kiss again in response. No response of any kind. So no, not interested is what they say. And I have the plug stuff. But I've not spent loads of time with the Mega one. I really like his voice one. What's it called? But yeah, the voice one, I've used that in a bunch. It's in like that YouTube album I did. Pretty sure there's a track that's got. Maybe I might be misremembering if it's actually on the thing. Pop. Switch. Allow me to catch up on the messages. The version I'm using is a tracker called Defimask, and using an Everdrive cartridge. Yes, so the Everdrive lets you load anything and then run it. Is Defimask is like a tracker running on the Mega Drive itself? How does it? What's the sort of? Why would you do the sound design separately? Is it not all done on the Mega Drive? It's very cool though. And I also wondered, like, what were the Japanese composers using to write stuff? I know they had like, I think I read a bit about it, enough to be like there were proprietary programs that they basically used to write this music, because obviously it was like it wasn't like commercially available software, or maybe it was that they were using, but possibly it's not, because at the time, you know, how would there be, you know, big, wide, commercially available like things to write SNES music? More be the case that you would have some in-house developed thing that you would use. This is getting a bit. So how is it done? I imagine it was a lot harder than it is now. There's like not much nicer tools people have developed themselves, probably. Okay. Defimask is on the computer. Okay. Yeah. Just need a good YouTube video of it. See how it works. Right. We're nearly there, folks. Um, Sorry, this is the bit where I'm like, literally like, where have I missed one? Because I've definitely missed one. This whole bottom half. That's what we're working with. I found another offcut that's longer. Yeah, well done everyone for being here still. You are all crazy. But thank you for joining me. My 4-track machine writes, OG Japanese composers used to write on PC-88s and things with coding. Later, they developed a proprietary system with presets called gems that was easier to use for composers that couldn't code. PC-88s, are those like the development PCs? What is that? How's Mr. Moss? Still, after all this time. It's still good. Still good drinking temp. And that was literally made like 10 p.m. Hours and hours and hours later. You know, you just need like that little flush of tea just to keep you lean. Keep you lean. Keep your bits lean. Right. We're going to be systematic here. Kisses, kisses, kisses. That's effing shit, mate. I'm not clever enough to like go through all of these and be like, you know, R34, R48, R69 all require attention. But that one's a bit shit. I can attest. I can admit. We're going to add more to that one. Wait, lost it, that one. It's beer o'clock in the United States of America. It's beer o'clock here. Yeah, what does one do with Mega Drives? How many voices concurrently when you're like making music? How does that work? What's the PC doing versus the Mega Drive? I mean, you don't have to explain, obviously, if you have things to do, but it is interesting. Yeah, that is something I would like to know more about, because just like I've got time, which I don't necessarily, but I'm like, Let's just abandon this. Right. But it's the kind of thing I would like to mess with because, as I say, the Mega Drive sound chip is like, it's my childhood. Right. Basically. Yep. Yes, now. Yes, yeah. I mean, that's very light, but I think the noises will flow. Yes. Yes, mate. Right, lead's last, according to Timo. NEC PC-88 was a popular computer in Japan. God Light of Day says, be careful of this little steel wool thingy. You're referring to the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bastarding little balls that live at the bottom of there. And if you spill it, yeah, the bastarding balls are going to like go everywhere, aren't they? I mean, that's nothing. Let me show you this monstrosity, which is an old, this is an old G-Shock tin that has become my sort of like screw repository. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if this went on the floor, if I tipped that over? That's like a whole day of fixing that, of picking up the pieces. Like, talk about 52 car pickup, that would be like, 52 million. Oy, oy, oy. They all ended up in that little box because it was convenient, but then there's a point where the convenience is at risk of going the other way. If I spill it, that's the whole day gone. I'm trying to push through the leads. Come on. Boom. Push through. I'm not supposed to fold these things down. That's what we do, isn't it? That's what pros do. I like how systematic you aren't. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think I am, in many respects, a little bit tiny systematic. I am relatively. You've seen me checking. I'd make no assumptions. This isn't my first rodeo, but I'm like, nope, I'm an idiot. You're going to get it wrong. Look for the ways that you've screwed up, because you have. And with the exception of not connecting the Yamaha YMF chip and leaving that unsocketed for past the point when I was supposed to, I think I've done all right. Oh, yeah, you've come out. Give your wife my love, my 4-track machine. And please do, genuinely, do hit up about the Mega Drive stuff. I would like to know more about that. That is very cool. Could be a little, as if I need a hobby within a hobby within a hobby. But, hey, why not? Petracan, you join us in the dying moments. But I will get this working, and then you'll see. But we're building a FMP, Full Metal Plink machine, from Timo Rozendal. And it's really simple, but I've managed to make it last about 40 hours longer. But yeah, I have done live streams like this before, where I've like built modules because it's quite easy. This is the table where I like make videos, so I'm kind of infrastructurally set up for it. But I am now using, I've got my old M1 as the sort of streaming machine, the stream machine. So I also just wanted to kind of test that and just build something that I've been meaning to build forever, because I want to try and use this in like live systems, which is a thing that's going to happen very soon. And I will be careful about the ribbon cable. Like, this also assumes that I've connected the box header the correct way round. It's all very well connecting the ribbon cable correctly when the box header itself has been installed in a manner that will only destroy the module. Could happen. Yeah, I need to get a super close-up cam though. Because you're missing the, like, you know, the pure, raw meat and potatoes of me putting liquid metal into little holes. That's what you're all here for. These, like, the YouTubers who are really good at this, who have those, like, you know, electron microscope vibey things, so they've got, like, video microscopes. I'm like, yes. That's a shout. Wouldn't mind one of those. More than anything, just so I can see what the hell I'm doing. But then everyone can see it. Tell you what, if you want a video series about soldering, what I'm kind of in my head, the other reason I'm testing this is because I've got a TB303, well, a Re303 from DinSync to build. And I've also got a Re101 to build from DinSync. And I've also got a Re808 to build from DinSync. Let's be real, that last one is like, oi, 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 oi. Yeah. I've got like 3 big DinSync things to make. I've actually got a lot of the stuff. Like, I bought the 303, the Re303. I bought the, like, I bought it ages ago. Like, I've actually bought the chassis, so he gave me the PCB, which is super kind. But I need to buy, like, all the parts and the like, brain. Yeah, like the Re808. Like, have you seen, this is how long this takes? Like, it won't matter if I build it correctly or not, because I'll only be able to hear up to about 1 kilohertz by the time, or 100 hertz by the time I get it done. I'd have to have like a real strictly business stream where we're like, do you know what I mean? I'll have this all worked out in a way that, you know, there'll be no chat. It'll be like, everyone's silent. Everyone's got to be quiet when they come in the room. He's working. Look at him. He's busy. He's building that. Come on. Let the guy work. That is magnetized. But no, genuinely, the Re808 seems like an absolute see you next Tuesday. It's like a serious project. And what doesn't bode well is for the fact that in the past I bought the parts and all the bits and stuff to build a Yocto. And the parts and the bits to build a Yocto sat in the box for 4 years until I sold it to a nice person who I think themselves paid someone else to actually build it in the end. That's gone forever. Which says everything you need to know. So this doesn't bode well for me. The boding implies like I'm not capable of doing a big project like that. But the reality is, like, I can build modules. And basically, each of the voices of the 808 is basically just a module. It's just on one big PCB. So I really don't see. It's just other people who've done it are like, yeah, it's an absolute pig. It's a big, colossal, honking, squinking pig of a project. So, yeah. It's a thing. I will do it though, but I'll do the 303 first. Start small. And yeah, the Re101, but I don't have the case. Don't have the case for it. What my dream would be is not a metal case, but I'd love a plastic case. And I have got an eBay search for like a dead 101 to find a really, really, really dead one, so I can just have the case. One that's just like, the case is sort of covered in blood or something. Inside the PCB is just basically furred over because someone poured a can of Coke in it in like 1987, and it's still there, type thing. There's like mouse shit inside it, and and you can just take it apart and throw the PCB away, and then actually use the case. Because I just love I love the case. I love the steptangle thing. I can't help but notice that we've quietly built this module. Bloody built it. Haven't actually put it back together, but final assembly. Oh, you bastard. Now I've got to fucking take all the fucking stuff. That's what it says on the thing, isn't it? Oh, you bastard. That's completely reasonable, though. But I still don't like it as a final stage. Solder everything, make sure the panel can be pushed properly, do the LEDs last, cut the leads of the LEDs, screw the sides back together. Oh no, I didn't keep the correct side in. What? Oh, you bastard. Oh, you absolute bastard. Yeah, the troubleshooting. As you say, signal of sounds. Yeah, true. It's that whole thing, like you need an oscilloscope and you need to sort of level up your problem solving. I wondered about 3D printing a 101 case. In fact, I feel like I asked Paul that, and I think he said, yeah, it can be done. Like, there are ones that can do it. I'm unplugging my iron. Right, well, that's annoying. Obviously, I'm an idiot, and I should have kept it screwed in there because I did not. And now I have to undo it. But I'll use my unscrewer from Signal Sounds. Darling, do you need to do a little unscrewing? Yes. I've assembled the Timo Rozendal FMP incorrectly. Look, darling, I got you an unscrewer from Signal Sounds. It'll help you fix the Timo Rozendal FMP in 2 shakes of a gnat's chuff. Darling, you've always been so good to me. No problem, darling. Yes, annoying, but I just think, like, Paul is, by the way, the guy from DinSync. Paul Barker, who I have interviewed for the podcast Why We Bleep. Paul is the guy from DinSync, and a good chat there if you want to hear from someone who's old school raver and is like living and breathing 808s. And then obviously the other one is I interviewed Mini System? I cannot think of the company, but I just think of 880. System 80 880. Why did I think of Mini System? System 80 is the company, and that's another bleep that is good if you're interested in the why does an 808 sound like an 808 type thing? Like, you know, what is the source? What is the magic? So forth and so forth. Hello, Matthew. I fucked up the thing and not done it right. But, you know, I just think it's worth doing. Let's get it right. Because basically modules, I think, you know, modules that you're going to gig, workhorses of this nature, you want them to be physically well made and not rattle apart, shake apart in the case when they're being transported. So build them well. Timo did it for a reason. Yes. Paul did do a vinyl lathe. Yeah. He's done his like vinyl cutter. And yes, Cold Light of Day, you should listen to the System 80 Why We Bleep and the DinSync Why We Bleep. Both. The System 81 especially, I grilled him a bit. I was like, you're not leaving until you help me understand what makes the sort of magic of some of these sounds. And we talked about the clap in the 808, and he's like, there's a funny moment where I have a System 8880, and it has a clap that is absolutely slammingly good. It's the best 808 clap I've ever heard, and you know that the sort of the vibe tends to be, you hear these like apocryphal stories that people are like, oh yeah, my mate Clive had a 808 that had like the best rim shot, you know. He'd play that rim shot and just crowd would go wild. Oh, have I just stripped that? I have. That's just come off. Oh dear. Oh wow, that's weird. Why did that come apart? Well, Timo, despite all your best efforts, that is a secure mechanical connection all by itself. So I've done that for absolutely no reason. I've just stripped that off. That's just come off there. What annoying! What the heck, mate? What did I do to deserve this? Anyway, let's get these back on in a way that is correct. There we go. Well, allow me to just do that again. Now that I'm not using that screw anyway after all that. I think the screw is a bit overkill. That's definitely like, there's 4 of these held in. That is very secure. And yes, I can't remember what he said about the clap. And there is some chat on the Re 808 about tuning the clap, because obviously a lot of it is, you know, the real question is this sort of sense of what makes when you're building an 808, you're not building an 808 that would be the 808 that you'll encounter now. You're building an 808 that is functionally like an 808 was in 1981 or whenever. And that's a different beast to an 808 now, because obviously all of the, like, you know, the capacitors have slightly dried out, or quite a lot dried out. And so all the tolerances of all of the voices have slipped by 10%, 15%, like, I don't know, but potentially a great deal. And so, yeah, like, it's a thing. And so if you're building one, what are you building? Are you building one from the 80s or now? And so it's a bit of a question. And I think there is some chat about tuning things. You can sort of, you know, adjust values to basically replicate, you know, a more loosey-goosey, bigger sounding thing. Pitches would have changed. There's some chat about that. I need to go back and listen to those episodes. But yeah, I've got to build the Re 808. Got to. It's not an option. But yeah, like all the, you know, an 808 now is not an 808 then. So what we think of as, oh, that's what an 808 is supposed to sound like, is sort of like a weird concept, because no one anymore. Well, here's the funny thing, is like, if you're recreating the 808, how do you know what an 808 sounds like? Because you don't have one. There are none left anymore that sound like they did in the early 80s. But of course, there is a way, which is you could listen to the records that they were recorded on, because there are recordings of them, but of course they're processed, but it at least might give you a sense of like, oh, the pitch sounds like this. But anyway, what's interesting to me is this notion that, like, if you were building one, you might not actually be interested in building it to be authentic. In fact, you might be actually building it to be broken in an interesting way. And that's sort of more interesting and like a different kind of challenge. You got me hanging on strings now. That's my 808 cowbell. I've done. Built it. That's it. Well, it's not, because we haven't done the cosmetic bits. What say you? I totally broke off that little. It's a bit weird that like the the metal bit broke. The screw itself, you see that? The screw itself broke when I tightened up the paneling bit. It's quite deep. It's a bit of a chunk. Shit, man. That's like nearly 5 centimeters. Fine. Well, I was just looking in my Damaru case over there. It will go in, but not necessarily anywhere in the case. It becomes that consideration of like when it's under the bus boards, you know, or above the bus boards, like it might not fit. Home free. Right. Oh, that's convenient. I can just put those on any old way. But of course, there's a little little cappy friend that goes in there. It's cool. Does it go completely over it? No. These are nice little these are nice. Or kind of classy feel. I feel like some expensive gear that uses pots like this. And given me it's taken me about 42 hours to build this live on camera, I would have to charge a great deal. So there's so much of my time that's gone into. So how do you align knobs? Well, he doesn't say. I have my thoughts, but it's a good question. He just says place them. Just place. But of course, in Imhotep, what you do, what I've done when I've like pulled knobs off, is turn them all the same orientation, all the way that way. And then these are just completely free running. They're not like notched or anything. What's the angle? Do we look at the picture? It is a question, isn't it? Because what will upset me is if they're not all the same. Oh shit, when they go in, that's it as well. They ain't coming back out. Also, there is a kind of... Yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. Basically, there is a kind of ridge that's on the knobs themselves. It's like sort of Dupfer stuff. Like there's a ridge there and there's a kind of line down the center of this. So there is a kind of perfect alignment. There is a way, but what you can do is you can just push these in and you can just kind of pull that off and I don't know, unless... The reality is there's not going to be a situation where they all need to point the same way and then give me I don't have OCD, but if I did, this is the kind of thing where it could all go horribly wrong and I would just put the thing in the bin, even though I've just built it, because when they're all down, they don't line up perfectly. Oh no, the angle is a bit more acute. I want the same thing. I mean, you would say put them in the middle, but how do you know when they're in the middle? Oh, to be fair, the jacks are... how would you know? It's that's middle, isn't it? Yeah, that's middle. You could try the straight up game. Yeah, we did this whole thing live on stream. The whole blinking blonking thing. it is, yeah, that is my vibe. Like, every time I built a module, I don't think I've had one where I'm like, not managed to make it. That's annoying. Look, you can see the angle is slightly different. But yeah, this is the thing. Can you pull it off? No, you see. Oh, no. I don't know a way to explain this easily, but the knob shaft themselves have a kind of ridge, and there is a way they sit. And the caps themselves can be put in at any angle. And so this means it's possible to have the caps put in at a slightly different angle, as we see here. So look, now these are both fully left, and they're like wonky. That bothers me to a large extent. Yes. And how do I get this out now? With a knife? So just stab a knife into them and then yank them out, you know. How bothered am I? Am I bothered? Am I bothered? You can worry too much about these things. I just think, like, I want, like, the perfect knob, and then I'll match it visually. That's the only way to do this, I think. I think this one feels like that's the same angle, but the inversion of that one. Yeah. Pliers will F them up, and then they'll look shit. I mean, the reality is it doesn't really matter because, as you can see, it's not like there's any kind of, like, you know, there's no like scale indicated around this. The pointers are kind of marginally ornamental. They're ornamental, like, you know, they're letting you know the ballpark. You're in ballpark there, and that's all that matters. So, given that it's nearly 2:00 in the morning, and I'm definitely going to regret this. Maybe there's a way to take them off that's like, I don't know. They're not hollow. Yeah, they're not hollow down the center. You can't take them off and push them from the other side. No, you just gotta, like, oh, guitar pick is a good idea though. That is true. Maybe. I'll see about the mult knob, but I have a fairly good eye for these sorts of things. An art background and that sort of angles and things of this nature. Like, I'm quite good at, like, you know, looking at the wall and seeing if the picture is straight or not. Let's hope I can bring that to bear. Fortunately, I've got shaky hands, so the art background is moot. Okay. Well, that's like, if you've got OCD, that's the problem, isn't it? That one's also off a little bit. Hello, Michael. Yeah, it is. Just, I think that is correct. And no, yeah, you can't push the caps out from the bottom because these are. But what I can do is I can sort of lift them off and see if it will go. Look, there it goes. Boom. It's kind of like there's a ridge on the inside of the knob, so you can lift it off, move it 1d10, and then move it down. That's good enough. That's good enough for FM synthesis. It's not one key. Shh, it's fine. Boom. Fucking boom. Oh, that's the record scratch sound. There we go. Oh my God, yes. Such a good feeling. Right, okay. There we go. Folks, we did it. Bloody built it. Now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I can hear you. You're going, plug it in. Make it work. Let's hear it. Or let's talk, big guy. Let's hear the module. It's not an unreasonable request. It's verging on reasonable. Come all this way. Yeah, but with what will I do this? Give me 2 seconds. You've made it this far. Oh yeah, I didn't need that. Right. 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 I tell you, mathematically, there is a problem here, though. We established earlier, a few moments ago, that this is 50 millimeters deep. I can tell you for a fact that this case is 45 millimeters deep. This is fine. Oh, wait, what? Apparently, I can't tell you for a fact. What's going on? Maybe it's some TARDIS shit, but, like, I'm pretty sure... Well, maybe... maybe it is 40. Maybe it's 49 or something. Oh, no, there is... Like, I feel like... It's hard for me to see, but basically, I think it's, like, literally flush to the back. Like, it's precisely the depth. Maybe Timo did that on purpose. All hail the British plug. For the Americans in the audience, that's what a real plug looks like. Safety first. Absolute greatest. None of this forks in the wall socket stuff. Right. Solder the jumper. Yeah, that is a good point. And at all costs, just push it hard enough, and anything, everything goes in. Where? We're well connected for AV here.
Instruments, they didn't know nothing about it. They just wanted to make music, and they used these drum machines and was fascinated and had a hell out of energy. And I took this energy of these people in the end somehow into the trade shows and meetings.
I am well wired for sound here.
What is going on here? And
I just plug this in, that'll be fine, right?
That was always...
Interestingly, the place where I witnessed someone just like live connecting a module, reaching in, live connecting a module and putting it back in, was at Schneider's bureau. I witnessed someone doing that. I was like, man, Yeah, that's why. That's why. That's why. That's why that's there. Okay. Good safety lesson, everyone. If you push hard on this side, it pivots and it just pops out. Yeah, we're going to get any shorts or anything. He who dares wins.
With the experience of being.
This seems promising. Yeah, I don't think it's going to short. I mean, well, I have nothing to base that on. Well, excuse me while I use the greatest solder sucker to just pop this up. Out. I mean, let's be real. I don't know what this is supposed to do here. That's promising. Look, activity. So there's obviously a little STM that's like, the STM's alive and talking to it, right? Not hearing signal, though. Or are we? We got poots. Watch out, Orteka. Yes. Oh, yes. Listen to that crust. We weren't kidding. Yeah, it is crusty AF. Love it. Oh, I love it. Bong, 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 bong. Do you like my new song? It goes bong, 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 bong. Yes. Listen to that. So much fizz. Yeah. Sounds great. So much. I don't know if that's coming across on the stream, but like, there's like so much fizz. It's good. This I do not understand. Like, what are we editing A and B? What is this? Drum mode. How? I genuinely don't understand how that works. Yeah. love that stuff. That wow, the warm like fuzz crud. It's got to be done, folks. It has got to be done. Yes. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Oh, yeah. That's wicked, isn't it? Now, what about this? Three module challenge right there. Yeah, that's a good 3 module challenge with this lot. That's great. Don't have a sequencer. Who needs one? The full div kit effect. Somewhere, div kit is asleep. I could plug this in. Do I need to? Anyway. I definitely don't understand the drum. Well, what is that? Like, what's edit? Definitely don't understand. Why is there like BDSN? How am I getting those to work if... Yeah, the oct is very good, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it before, but why would this not do something interesting? Is that soft patch here to get a bit of like Dilla time. Look. Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me. So I'll try that. This is the Timo Rozendal FMP. Full Metal Plink Machine. FMP. Which is like, this is a real like Yamaha chip. This is actually a real old school Yamaha OPL that's inside this, zinging away. You know? Wow, this is like sort of church bells in a very weird Sunday morning. That's cool. Yeah, very cool. Is it using an Atari? Like, which one? I sort of like, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, like, but it's fun. So yeah, this, what you're hearing is, it's not doing any rhythm generation. It's literally just, the only thing that's triggering it is the oct. So it's just sine waves triggering it. And this fast one is triggering the trig. You can see it lights up. And then the red one is just doing whatever that does. CV. Something A, something B. I don't know. I've not read the manual, literally. But I mean, understanding like 2-op FM, you've got like a carrier and a modulator. The carrier carries the sound into your ears. The modulator modulates the carrier. So you've got an amount of modulation, a decay for that modulation of this. And then a mult is like how pitchy it is, the modulator, which obviously changes what you hear because that's modulating that. 2-op FM. But what edit is anyone's guess. I don't know. And what I don't understand is how the drum mode works. But now I think about it, is it that these are like individual level controls? If you turn all of this down, will this become like just the kick that you hear? Let's turn clouds off. Is that the kick? Is that what passes for a kick? Is that coming from clouds? What is it doing? I wasn't in edit. That's what I was trying to be in. I was like, does it make one drum sound at once? And basically you adjust the levels so you could... Is that what it is? Why do I keep moving that? That edit keeps moving. I keep touching it by accident. I have no idea. Absolutely zero idea. But there's a save. Oh, I wasn't in drum mode. I'm a doofus. Oh, Lord. Man, these drum sounds. This is the hat sound that's in the VSS 200, or very similar, which is a Yamaha, unsurprisingly. So the VSS, I have one. It's up there. I can't get it right now, but basically, it's quite conceivably the same chip that's in the VSS. And that hat sound is interesting, just for you dorks who are still here. That hat sound you can only just sort of vaguely hear. On the SOS Synth Secrets, there's an interesting like patch where Gordon Reed talks about how to make hats, and it's done with like loads of square wave oscillators, and the square waves FM, the square waves FM, the square waves FM, the square waves. And I built that patch, and to my great delight, it basically made this sound, which I recognized from the VSS 200, which is basically what this is doing right now. But I don't know how to make it. I don't know what control I get over this. Anyway, this is tone mode. Yeah. That's pretty. So what's B then? What does that mean? Anyway, it only bloody works, doesn't it? Woof. Yeah, it's just like metric hectons of reverb on. I mean, I kind of wish I had more CV control now, like do CV of decay time and stuff. Maybe there's a way to map it. I don't know. But then I want to pitch control it, or do I? I don't know. Marimbas. Yeah, definitely with an analog filter. All that crust and craft. You could almost use an external analog filter to kind of simulate CV control of depth. You had like long decay time on this, carry it. So the sound is long, but then use the filter to close it down. You could then CV control the filter and it'll be like having CV control of that. Obviously the modulator needs to be done on the board. Wow. Just 3 modules, you can make a little like weird proto sort of what's his chops? Oh no, I can't think of him. Electronic music pioneer. Raymond Scott. Raymond Scott vibes. It's like amazing, just for like actually instructive how much you can get from just 3 modules.
the whole boring big Frankfurt Musikmesse, because we compressed these manufacturers to the smallest place necessary. So my booth was crowded already when it was not even opening, because I had so many exhibitors standing next to each other saying, hey, I have the sequencer, you have the synth. I said, here's the cable. Don't bring nothing to support your product, bring just your product, and here's the cable. You have the sequencer, you're standing next to a guy with a synthesizer, put the MIDI cable from here to there, put the audio in, and then you explain the sequencer, you explain the synthesizer, and that's it. My place was always crowded, and all the others were standing behind their computer screens. What was very emotional to me was understanding.
Yes, you have.
That,
Clouds is great.
Haken was working since, 72, on the vision of taking the keyboard players out of their 12-tone scale, letting them flow free in between the tones from 88 keys down and up. Saying, skills, and they have. I myself am a keyboard player. I learned piano and double bass, and I played. What you are proud of if you play in a band, and then you say, and you are forced, as a German, as a European guy, you're forced to understand everything just in the 12-tone limitation. It's also not making your life easier as a musician. So where I is necessary, and that you really can hear it and you need to hear it.
Yes, it is a bit like that, isn't it? The late night rave. Everyone's still up. Wow. I'm calling it. We built a module, everyone. All of you. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. That is great. Totally works. Thank you, Temu. Timo, for your low-cost shopping experience. Oh, it's warm with all that FM warmth that's in there. The chip's been fired up for the first time since 1992. And yeah, that's a great module. Well, that's a great module. Available now, $99.99. Call the number now. Call now. Lines are open. Ring the number. Order your FMP. I just love it for all of the zingy sounds and all of the big zingy crazy washes and the fuzzy noises. It's just what I'm looking for. It's a great module for that. Yeah. Thanks, Timo. Jesus. Thank you, Timo. Thank you, Timo, for that module. It only took me a year and 19 hours on the stream to build it. The only cock up is I did mess up the standoff. But hey ho, that's fine. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure I'll put a link to this module if you are insane enough to be this far into this streamer video. I'll put a link to it and then the replay. It's good. I don't know how it works, but as we've seen, we can have a lot of fun with it as is. So, yes. And then the other one is Mr. Rozendal has a 3394. Similar vibes, but this is using the 3394 chip. This little tinker cuss, which is a whole like blooply bloppily synth. So I'm quite excited about the idea of having a couple of like more compact voices like the 111-6, more of this sort of thing, I think. Because I've got this case and I've got to try and shoehorn as much as possible. So these are welcome, little like compact voices. Anywho, you're wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to go and I'm going to offer you my love. Be well. And thanks very much. Go to bed now. Unless you're in America, don't go to bed yet. But in a few hours, go to bed. Bye.